Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the JoJolanders. Chapter 35, Usagi Fraud and Suspicion Part 3. I guess, first of all, before we get started, address the elephant in the room between last JoJolands chapter and this one, Steel Ball Run Episode 1.
Yes.
Yes. I thought it was really good.
I do too.
I know that they cut out a little bit of it, but to be entirely honest, I've always liked the first stage of Steel Ball Run. I've always liked all the horse racing and stuff. And it felt like the most racy part of the race, you know?
Right.
But I think the first episode really captured that spirit of, like, kind of the first stage in my heart. Because I think most people say, like, oh, the first stage is too wordy and stuff like that. But I think I really felt the essence of, like, the race in the stage one, in the manga and both the anime. So they did a great job. Super disappointing that it's not coming out till fall.
I was super upset that there wasn't going to be one the next week.
Yeah, and and I know why. Well, I know why you're really disappointed about Steel Ball Run releasing like this.
Yeah, I want to see 8.
Yep, you want to see JoJoland animated, and it releasing like this means JoJoland's going to be pushed back. But hopefully this means that we get some really good animation quality for Steel Ball Run and all that. But now, without further ado, let's get into the chapter. So we got our cover page here with Usagi, like, being, like, flying, I guess. It's kind of an interesting cover page, to be honest. Their feet not even touching the ground. They float into the air for their mission. I guess this might be referencing how they're, like, for, like, half the chapter, they're, like, on the wall.
Could be.
And they're, like, above the water. I don't know. It's kind of a weird...
This is kind of a weird chapter.
It is kind of a weird chapter overall, to be honest. So, yeah, like, we start out here, and we got, like, literally just directly after Usagi fell into the water.
Comes out of the water.
Yeah, he's just kind of processing everything that's happening. How they don't even have a phone on them, and they're walking around a zoo in a park. And then an alligator obviously comes to attack them. You know what? For Rocky usually draws animals kind of weirdly. The alligator looks pretty good,
yeah.
I gotta say. And of course, Paco the goat drops in to save Usagi from the water. But he's weirdly, like, distracted, I think. I know most JoJo characters in, like, tense situations can be kind of stone-faced and all that, or, like, stoic. Yeah. But I feel like Paco's being weirdly stoic during most of this chapter. So he asks if it's a stand, right? But I think this is weird that, like, Usagi is so adamant it's not a stand.
Right.
I don't know if it's because, like, of his mental state right now. You know, he's kind of panicking all over the place. But it's so weird because, like, if I'm a JoJo character, I feel like my first thought instantly would be this is a stand. Right. Because, like, I couldn't because any other outcome would be like, okay, I'm just, like, guessing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because eventually, like, Paco says the same thing too. It's not a stand. How do you know it's a stand, Jodio?
Yeah.
It's like, what else could it be?
Right.
That's weird. But so yeah, Usagi's, like, talking about how it's not a stand.
Wasn't a stand.
And it was that Max guy, even though half his face was blown off, he's still alive.
Yep. Attacking him or
yeah. Jody and Dragona are just spectating on the top there. A lot of good double page spreads this chapter. But yeah, so they're talking about the attack and all that stuff, and then Usagi's freaking out. Paco's asking him what's going on, and just kind of the stuff we were already talking about. And Paco points out how many alligators are in the enclosure. He's like, "There's a lot of alligators."
Right.
But I don't even think 6 is, like, that crazy amount of alligators.
Right.
I feel like when I go to a zoo, especially, like, a big zoo, they always have, like, a good amount of alligators.
Yeah.
You know? I don't...
They're coming for the blood, it looks like.
True, yeah. They're giving them, like, the shark instinct. It's kind of interesting that Paco says that's the kind of muscle you bring to a real brawl. Does he, like, think, like, the alligators were placed there intentionally?
No idea.
Uh,
And then shocker, Paco gets bit
yep.
by one.
Yeah, I was so surprised. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but yeah, he gets bit and he starts getting dragged down. And again, he's like really surprisingly calm about it. But then I guess he just like punches out the teeth of the alligator, which is insane.
When Usagi's face is like shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, Paco he just casually knocks out the teeth of the alligator. And then he does like this cool maneuver where he like slams the alligator into the other alligator that's about to bite Usagi, and it bites down on him.
On the other alligator, yep.
And then we get some November rain. I'm always happy to see some more November rain. I like that stand a lot.
Yeah. Then what was weird is the lady and the child falling in.
Yeah. So I wonder if they like were also affected by the stand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Although they're not like bleeding or anything, which is what like because like the way we've seen it is like the like dead corpse talks shit about you.
Yeah.
You turn around and then you get like injured and then dragged around. But these guys are just like pushed in, I guess.
Or heaved in.
Yeah. True. Like they climb onto it and they just heave themselves into it. And then everyone's confused naturally about why the kid and the woman threw themselves in. And they're both like surprised about it. It's almost like they didn't do it intentionally.
Right.
Even though they literally climbed up.
Yeah.
Such a weird encounter right now.
It is. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. So obviously, naturally, our gang is like, why the hell did you throw yourselves in?
Yeah.
But Paco, although it looks like the woman pushes the boy away from her so she can try and get saved first,
Yeah.
which is kind of a dick move.
That is very much.
Yeah, I don't think they're related. At least maybe the assumption is that they're supposed to be like mother and son, but
But the mother would probably want to save her son.
Yeah.
And not push him out of the way. But you never know in fear.
yeah, true. But either way, she gets pulled under. Assumedly by the alligators. I guess we don't really see an alligator next to her in like the panel, which is kind of interesting. So maybe she got actually pulled under by the stand.
Could have been.
But the boy feels the alligator next to him and starts to run towards Paco. And Paco grabs him and puts him on his shoulder.
Yep.
And he starts climbing the wall with his muscles, which is, again, the hustle is so cool. I think it's such a cool stand. A lot of people were like underrating it when it like was first revealed. They're like, oh, he can just manipulate his muscles. But I always saw the vision. It's a really cool ability.
Well, yeah, and he's got Usagi and the little boy on one on each side.
He's very strong.
Yeah.
And then he starts getting affected by the stand as well. In the next page, obviously. Although wait a minute,
That's the boy talking to him. Right?
that's true. That is the boy talking to him,
Yeah.
or like what looks like the boy.
Oh, yeah.
That's wait a minute. I didn't even notice that. Because then like the boy says all of this on this page,
Yeah.
and then he turns around and it switches to the woman who was just killed.
Right.
Interesting.
I don't know the meaning.
Although wait, that happened with Usagi too. Remember, because Usagi was talking to the security guard,
Right.
and then the security guard transformed into Max.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess maybe part of the stand's ability is like if someone dies nearby, it can like convert, or I don't know. Maybe that's part of its attack is that it uses someone nearby you and turns them into
Right.
whoever. I thought the banter that the ghost tries to, or like the baiting that the ghost tries to do to turn Paco around is interesting.
Right.
It's been a while. Maybe I'd have to reread Paco's backstory, but I don't remember his dad doing his best. I remember his dad being a drunk and like beating him and stuff. I mean, maybe this is how Paco interprets it, because Paco did try and like do a lot for his dad.
Yeah.
And I know, and I remember that his dad was like being framed for murder.
Right.
And I think he started working with Meryl to make sure he didn't go to jail.
I believe that's right.
But it still says he ended up in jail.
Right.
So maybe Meryl failed.
Or they had.
Or he fucked up again.
Could be.
Or something along the way. I do kind of believe the interpretation that Paco thought his father was doing his best.
Yeah.
I think that fits. I think Paco has shown that he very much loved his dad, and like his stand ability, the hustle where he like controls muscles,
Right.
even like developed because he wanted to make sure his dad wasn't hurting him when he did beat him,
Right.
or like from response of his dad beating him, which is an interesting viewpoint because that kind of tells me that he didn't really like hold much of a grudge against his dad for it.
I think he appreciated what his dad did try to do for him.
Maybe.
But his mom was never there.
True, yeah. Maybe this is less the ghost kind of... Because I think part of it is, like, maybe the ghost is saying kind of, like, how they view themselves.
Could be.
Because I know when Usagi's ghost was talking to him, it was like... Or when Max was talking to him, it was like, you know, her mother hated... Her son wasn't a real man or something.
Right.
After we just learned Usagi was bisexual.
Yeah.
And that is a common thing that people talk about with like gay and bi men is that they're less manly
Right.
because they're gay or whatever. I do know that's kind of some a bit of like homophobic stuff. And Usagi might view himself like that.
He might. So it might be his own fears coming out for whatever.
That's kind of what I'm thinking because maybe Paco, like I said, maybe he like views his dad as a guy who was just put into a shitty situation and did the best he could.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like his mom, it sounds like. Assuming this is from Paco's perspective.
That's true. I don't think we really heard about Paco's mom.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting also that the ghost says that a Paco will abandon people if his
Right.
back's up against a wall. When Paco has been like the most performing member of the group when it comes to these situations.
Yeah.
You know, he's always been the one who kind of locks in.
Yeah.
And even here, he's taking the kid with him. He's not like leaving the kid.
On the ground.
No. You know, if he was really an abandoner, he would have just fled with Usagi.
Right.
I mean, the fact that he's even getting Usagi. He had that moment, when was it? Before they fought Ningbo and Lame Shebang.
Yeah.
Where he was like, I'll give you a cut. You can back out now.
Yep.
When we get our 50 billion, I'll give you a cut of it.
Yeah.
Like, that totally doesn't tell me. That totally seems completely different than, I guess, how Paco might view himself.
Right.
But either way, I think this was an interesting bit of moment here. And then, obviously, Paco turns around, and it transforms into the woman, which is a terrifying body horror from Araki here. This has been a very gruesome arc so far.
Yeah.
And she attacks him.
In the neck.
Mm-hmm. And goddamn, it is a brutal attack.
Blood squirting everywhere.
I know JoJo characters tend to like really get their shit beat in, but I don't know.
Yeah.
This seems pretty. This seems pretty bad.
It does.
And so he seems to either let go, or no, he said he didn't let go. He said that the kid let go because he was on his shoulder.
Right.
I mean, I guess in this panel with the kid up there, it kind of looks like he also got like attacked.
Right here?
Yeah, because it looks like his mouth has like blood in it.
Yeah.
So maybe like they both got attacked at that moment.
Could be.
And the kid let go because he got hurt. And Paco obviously got hurt as well, but since Paco has an ability, he's not going to let go easily.
Or was it the kid that bit him and it looked like the one?
It's interesting because it was the kid, right?
Right.
But we saw from the security guard that the security guard transformed into Max. And so the kid transformed into the woman.
Right. But then maybe went back into...
Maybe.
the
Oh, I see what
kid.
you're saying. True. Maybe it turned back into the kid.
So that's why maybe he looks like the kid got hurt.
Oh, maybe that's why it looks like the kid has blood in his mouth.
Right.
Because right. I see what you're saying. That's an interesting theory. I didn't even think of that. So, like, the people stay there, but they just are presented as, like, someone that died recently. Interesting. That could be part of it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Paco gets his shit rocked, but they're starting to pull him up, He's bleeding into the water and all that stuff. And Jodio tells Dragona to stop the bleeding with smooth operators.
Right.
Which she can, because she's been shown to heal stuff before.
Right.
Or they've been shown to heal stuff before. But, they say I can only slide the surface, so it might not be totally stopped. Which I guess, makes sense.
Yeah.
But I do remember, I don't know if you remember, way back in the very beginning when they fought Charming Man, and, Charming Man stabbed Dragona through the neck. Remember that?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. But then she, moved the wound onto a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they can do that with this one. But maybe there's not maybe there's not, something nearby to move it onto.
Right.
Maybe that's what's going on. Usagi's still talking about how they're not dead. Though the lady and Max. Which, I don't know.
Right.
It feels like they are pretty dead.
Right.
And Jodio talks about how he can't see the boy anymore, which tells me the boy might be dead, so the boy might appear behind one of them soon.
Well, yeah.
Usagi's freaking out about the $300,000, talking about all this. He mentions this judge of hell.
Mm-hmm.
They know people's secrets that nobody else knows.
Right.
It's their attack that made blood start spurting from Paco's neck. And they start asking if he's seen someone, like the stand user, I guess.
When he didn't see who Paco saw, or
Yeah.
the one who attacked Paco.
If you see them, it's over. This person is an evil spirit from hell. Again, it's kind of weird, because, stand abilities can do all sorts of crazy shit.
Right.
I mean, most of the stands we've seen so far in Part 9 haven't been, that crazy.
No.
But still, thinking about, even in just, the new universe, we have, Wonder View, D4C, crazy shit they can do.
Oh, right.
Surely the ability to, read someone's, guilt and stuff, or, their insecurities, isn't that crazy of an ability.
No.
Or, out of the realm of possibility for a stand.
It wouldn't be.
Which is why, maybe this is something that is in the stand. Because, I feel like Araki would not be putting this much, emphasis on how it's not a stand.
Yeah, that could be true.
I don't know, it's weird.
And then they're worried about the kid.
Yep, Paco is worried about the kid, which I like.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're getting the Gators in control. And he talks about he never let them go, yeah.
The kid was on his shoulder trying to save him. Yeah.
I like this moment where Dragona's quit taking photos, get away from us.
Right.
And then we have another flashback to the call with Rohan.
Right, which I don't understand in this concept.
Yeah. So I guess we've been talking about this Judge of Hell, what this stand even is. And then we cut back to the flashback. And Jodio's continuing asking Rohan. It's like Jodio has a eureka moment here with how that panel's drawn.
Right.
He's finally connected the dots.
Right.
So they're talking about the vast slope, where on that slope to find it, how to tell a new one from the other ones. Which, again, I think you would just, throw money on the ground. That's what Rohan sounded like he did.
Right.
Which doesn't sound like it'd be that hard to do. I mean, it'd be kind of tedious, but...
Well, yeah. Sit through and throw some bills down and see what happens.
But maybe there's a different way that Rohan knows. Because he asks him and Rohan just kind of pauses.
Yeah.
And then he, cuts him off, basically. He's like, oh, I don't know. I think I made it up, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know, ma'am. I don't know where they might have been.
Well, and then he tells him, you're my number one fan.
Yep. I do like that he said, climb higher, Jodio Joestar. Because that's kind of been Jodio's whole mentality.
Yeah.
In the part is to climb higher. The arrow up. The whole arrows of JoJolands. I believe from my heart that you are my number one fan.
Right.
Okay, I gotta go. I have a deadline coming up.
And then we're back in the Meryl May.
Right, in the room with knocked out Usagi.
Yeah.
And they're talking about what the hell Rohan's problem is. Meryl May glances over, almost like she understands.
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting. She's been very.
Quiet.
She's so mysterious. This part, this act, I should say. Feels like we might be getting some Meryl May focus this act. She's been so mysterious so far.
Right.
And then Jodio kind of because I mean, like, Jodio knows that that's out of character for Rohan.
Right. So he thinks that it's code.
Mm-hmm. That Rohan must have done that for a reason.
Right.
We have an enemy somewhere in the world. Maybe he realized in the middle of the call that this could go way beyond the stolen 300K, or beyond someone pursuing the $50 billion of land we have.
Right.
Which means maybe what that enemy that's out there is searching for is the lava rock itself.
Could be.
Now, the way he says that is the lava rock itself. He's not saying like a lava rock.
The lava rock, like one.
And which is interesting because they know that there's different lava rocks.
Right.
I mean, Jodio destroyed one of them in the beginning of this manga.
Hadn't done that, he still hasn't.
Yeah. So maybe Jodio thinks that there's like, Jodio's like big thing is mechanisms, right? Mm-hmm. These like processes that take place that bring about benefits,
things, yeah.
trust and wealth or whatever. Maybe in his mind, because he's searching for like the ultimate mechanism, maybe he's viewing that there is a lava rock that is the ultimate mechanism, one that won't break apart or anything like that.
Yeah.
One that'll bring in wealth
need.
until the end of his days,
Yeah.
basically. Maybe.
Yeah. And he's so sure that that's part of the code
Yes.
that Rohan is giving him.
I believe from my heart that you are my number one fan.
Yeah.
Now, maybe, trying to tie it back to the stand attacks the heart. Maybe if you don't believe what the stand is telling you, you won't get hurt.
Could be.
Maybe? I don't know. Again, this is a weird,
It is.
this is a weird chapter.
And Usagi's still looking for his mom.
Yep. But Jodio, like, tells him to stop. I don't know if evil spirits really exist or not, but that wasn't a spirit. From the beginning, this has been an attack on all of us. There's got to be a user somewhere. I mean, I lean with Jodio just because he's been right about this in the past.
Well,
And again, it still seems weird to make a non-stand attack happen just right like this, you know?
Right. And it's so wild that you see one person and it's another person.
Yeah. There's got to be something up. That goes for both. There's something around here. We've got to find it. I know it's here.
Yeah.
What does he mean? What thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. They're talking about the eventual like thing we find in their feet. There must be some way a stand got physically close to you.
Right.
That's what he's saying. He's not saying like there must be something. He's saying like the stand has to be attached to you somehow.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
And then you see a picture of Max. And
Yep. And that's when they kind of start looking around. Oh, and Jodio tells Dragona that they're after the lava rock, and Dragona's like, "How?"
Right.
And that's where
We don't have it.
Yeah, but that's where he like makes the smart assumption that they're probably just gonna follow us until we find it,
Right.
and then they're gonna take it.
And that they've known about Hawala.
Yeah, well, because at this point they were probably listening in the call somehow, so they know that Jodio and the gang have experience with lava rocks, and know that they can know that Rohan was about to tell them where to find them exactly.
Right.
Like, they know on the north slope of Huala, that's about it, but that's a big area. So now in my brain, if I was trying to, find a lava rock, I'd be thinking, okay, follow these twerps.
And see where they go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look around you, the world is crawling with people like this. Interesting.
Yep.
So I think Jodio is saying that this person isn't related to Howler, which makes sense, right? I didn't think they were either,
Yeah.
but he's saying this person must have known about the Hualai lava rock's ability for a long time. I'll bet they've been searching for lava rocks as long as the Howler family has, which is like centuries.
Yeah.
Well, it's not centuries, but that's 8 generations of family that he's saying that they searched for as long as them.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because not even rock humans live that long.
No.
Well,
Well, we don't really know.
True. I thought they lived only about like 150. I think they lived slightly longer, but well, I mean, maybe. I guess it's possible rock human could probably live that long.
Yeah.
I think the oldest we ever saw was like Toru, and he was only 87.
Right.
But I think we were told that they can live longer. So I guess it's possible a rock human could have lived around for as long as like the Howler family has been.
Could have been.
Either that, or maybe he's also saying like there is another family that is as many generations as the Howler that's looking for lava rocks.
Yeah.
And then they find the stamp of the stand, I guess. Where they're like, Usagi, what's on the bottom of your foot? Your shoe.
And that's wild.
Yeah, I kind of like the design.
Yeah, it's just different.
Although we don't confirm if it's on Paco's like shoe.
What it looks like it, because Dragona's over here, Jodio's back there.
Yeah, but we never see like the bottom of Paco's shoe.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would assume it's on there, but... And then it's also on Dragona's, which I bet you the boy's going to attack her next chapter.
Well, the boy turns in... Somebody else...
Turns into the boy.
Turns into...
Which in this case, the only closest person would be like Jodio or Paco.
Well, Jodio and Paco wouldn't it? Because it wasn't any of those. It was the security guard the first time.
True. And then it was the boy the second time.
Yeah.
So now maybe someone approaches them. I don't know.
Right.
And then I kind of like the design though, where it's like hands on the head, but like the hand holes are like pierced for ears.
Yeah, and then Seal...
EP. Seal EP? I don't know.
But on the other one, it says Calacuna.
Oh, right. Yeah, they do say something different. Calacana Avenue.
Right.
And then this one doesn't say that.
Right. And this has got two lines through it. Does the other one?
Yeah.
It does.
That's weird. If this is what the stand design is, though, I kind of like it. It's kind of neat. It also kind of reminds me of, like, Day of the Dead type stuff. Like the candy skulls and all that.
Yeah.
I like that. So, yeah, that's JoJoland's Chapter 35. What a weird one. It feels kind of like weirdly feels like a setup chapter.
There's something to come, yeah?
Yeah, for being in the middle of a stand fight.
Right.
Like, I thought we were just going to I mean, I guess we did get straight into it, but this is a weird stand. Either way. We don't even fully know if what it's doing is...
And are they going to go after Charming Man?
I don't know. Charming Man is probably on Huala right now, looking for his brother, which I hope we cut to him at some point, because it'd be kind of neat to see like what he's doing while this is going down. But that's a good point. I mean, he might not be being targeted because he wasn't in the conversation when they were talking about, like, when he was on the call with Rohan.
Right.
Because I'm sure they know about Paco and Dragona.
But we don't know about Meryl May either.
True. That'd be a crazy twist if it was like Meryl May. I don't know if it would be, though.
No, I mean, if something goes after her, too.
Oh, true.
Because, she was there.
Yeah, she was. And she's by herself right now.
Right.
As far as we know. That's that. I didn't think of that. And we lost contact with her because I guess they hung up on the FaceTime, because she was on FaceTime with them.
Yeah. And
then hung up. But, I mean, she doesn't have the thing. I mean, it seems like it needs to, like, put the thing on your shoe, assumedly. I don't know.
Or it's stuck on your shoe somewhere.
Yeah.
And where did they pick it up at?
True. Yeah, because we can assume Usagi, like, got it at the house when he, like, was walking around, but...
Right.
When did it have time to, like... I mean, Paco was in the water, could have put it under his feet in the water.
It wouldn't have stuck. Water...
It is a stand, I mean...
Well, that's true.
They're kind of weird, but... I don't know. Interesting. I do also wonder who the user is, as well, because, like... I don't know. Because, like...
Maybe it's who's ever manipulating Usagi's mom and Tori.
True. I don't know. Yeah, because...
There's a bunch of ways it could go.
Yeah. Act 2 is starting out pretty interesting.
It is.
I thought this was going to be, like, the main, like, plot for the Act 2 was, like, going after Tori and Usagi's mom.
Right.
or Alice, I think her name was Alice Aloahe. But I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. Um, yeah. Anything else? I think that'll be it for this episode of the JoJolanders. Thanks for listening to this far if you did, and we'll see you next month.
Yep.